Hmm. How does one?
Go ahead.
How does one learn the weakness? How does one learn the weaknesses of a being so?
Well, it is not about the weaknesses of the being, it is about the weaknesses of the space that it inhabits.
What do you mean? The ocean or the sea of fragments?
Reality. Tell me, you were in the local area when things changed, correct? This
Yes.
land used to be a fragment of what I believe was called locally as Chernobyl.
Yes.
It is obviously much larger now. It is no longer that land.
This is now some version of Hong Kong.
Yes. The previous land was removed. The machine's doings. However, now the machine grows weaker with every passing minute. Every bolt ripped out, circuit board smashed, gear stopped. Whatever the metaphors. It can no longer do it. Hence why we rush to search for the final opportunity to win our war so that we may do it.
But right now, we have to deal with the here and now, and the people who live in it. And as such,
If you are so concerned about the people, we simply remove the area after. Yeah, we let the devastation happen until the situation progresses to the point where we can fix it. And if you so want this city in existence, we will simply write out the broken and replace it with the repaired. Pulled from the exact same time, it will be the same people.
it will not. For there is a weakness that even the God Machine shares. You cannot. Can
we not? Why do you think we walk the path of mankind now?
There are very few things that can create a soul.
But the fire can. Lucifer can.
With effort. But I suppose you
don't need to create a soul if you simply borrow the ones that already exist and move them. But no matter. We have a few more locations that we need to visit. A few more artifacts that need to be gathered. Never know which devices provide the opportunities we seek.
Very well.
I am surprised you have not gathered them yourself, as he turns to look up at Amennakhti.
Amennakhti just kind of moves his head and he's like, he doesn't respond because he has nothing to respond with at this time.
No matter. I'm sure you'll find your way towards them. After all, what choice do you have? He gives you a nod and looks to his companion. And they slowly start to be on their way.
Omni just kind of watches them go.
Who is this Lucifer that can create souls?
I believe they refer to the pilgrimage, or not the pilgrimage, the principle.
He did correct himself and say that it could not create, it could just move.
Oh, I see. No better than me then.
Did I might have spoken wrong then there, but
I think they're referring to they could create souls in a roundabout way, and then they could put them somewhere else.
the intent of the conversation was to say that they could, the God Machine could only move it. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Okay. Yeah, that's not what I got from that.
My bad. I would try to sound all grandiose.
You missed the comma.
Damn.
Cherry's very much thinking, what do I do now? Oh.
I mean, there's either try and mitigate the damage or try and undo what they're trying to do.
I mean, what are they even trying to do at this point? Like, what are they?
Sounds like they want to rule the world.
Let disaster fall upon disaster until everything breaks like a wheel.
Yes, that seems to be accurate. The question then being, what is our role in it? Should we attempt to stop them? Allow the world to continue running as it is?
I believe we had this discussion once before and nothing came of it.
Well, now there's evidence as to what their plan entails.
You did not get that from the first discussion?
Kalmir looks around. No, I didn't quite get that.
We have a few options. We can attempt damage control. We can try and oppose them. Though ultimately that just serves to prop up the existing problems. We could try and help them, but that involves this. Looks around.
Chaotic confluence of untold proportions.
And
God.
another thing just to note, Kalmir, you are most likely familiar with this last band of Twilight they're talking about is.
I'm
Goetia.
Yeah, I was gonna guess.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Yeah, you don't have mind, but you are still a mage, and you're not.
I would have some knowledge of.
Cherry figured they were talking about Goetia because Cherry has intimate. Cherry not only has the things, she also has an intimate connection with Goetia, considering how her bullshit works.
Yeah. So how does Cherry feel about destroying that?
Could help. Could make things worse.
Okay.
Let's be honest here. Honestly, what it would do, who knows? To like her specifically, he like the way that she works, it would. I don't know.
Yeah, that will have to be discussed. But continuing on, Kalmir, the helicopters have reached the city limits and are now veering off to find a landing spot.
Okay. Well, though those flyers have arrived, will they need help with anything? They seem to be just flying around.
Likely looking for a place to land.
They would need a large space then.
A large flat area. Yes, though I imagine many large buildings will do the trick. There is admittedly some helipads within city limits, though whether they still exist is questionable.
Perhaps we can meet up with them and discuss how to get the people out? If that is still what we're trying to do.
I imagine that is the best thing to try to do at this exact point in time.
And the materialized ghosts are going to be an issue as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, especially since our first meeting with those robot people did not go so smoothly.
The one that we spoke with did state that they were openly hostile because they had just awoken and were confused. They are less hostile now.
Though the Reapers are still likely equally hostile to the amount they were before.
Oh, we need to keep the Reapers away from the flying machines.
Then that is what we shall do.
Yeah.
Sekhem wanes. We need to move.
Yeah. Guess they start moving.
I'll start heading toward where the helicopters are going.
Okay. So, these helicopters are landing in what open spaces they can, parking lots, etc. They do land behind, well, in an area that appears to be checkpointed off, where local police and military appear to have sort of stemmed the tide of people. As you arrive towards the location, it's a bit difficult to get much closer, as there are many other people attempting to get closer.
Mm-hmm.
Omni's just walking through.
I figured.
If people are pushing up against him, then that's on them. That's their fault. They shouldn't be touching him.
Well, if he's making a path, then...
I will say, just for the sake of so the cult's not like continuously sprinting after you across the city, they do meet up with you shortly before you reach the large crowds of people. Give you the update of what they've uncovered. They have uncovered a number of, well, a few, two. What's the fancy term in Mummy for them? The artifacts.
There's vessels, relics, and vestiges. Well, vestiges and relics.
Yeah, they've discovered a relic and a vestige, currently being held in a local corporation's storerooms. Sure.
Relics are the ones with powers, right?
Yeah, relics are the important ones.
Relics are really, really powerful, yeah. Vessels are basically pillar points, while relics are Sekhem itself.
Mm-hmm. I'm guessing we can't tell what the relic does.
No, they didn't get close enough to it. They infiltrated enough to figure out it was there, but couldn't get much closer without being caught.
I will leave the decision to the two of you. Obviously, this is a personal matter for myself. Those need to be retrieved. However, I do not wish to drag you off if this is not something. Also, I do realize my presence may be needed here. I will leave the decision to you two.
I lack specific martial prowess, and both aware of the norms of the organization, as well as unlikely to be recognized in this specific area. It may be best for me to come with you.
These items will be helpful.
Likely so. Sekhem infused artifacts of any type are generally quite powerful.
However, I do not wish to divert hope to these people either.
Mm-hmm.
You can see from here, the situation is chaotic, but there is some semblance of order here as local police are kind of ushering small groups of people past the barricades towards the helicopters.
Mm-hmm.
Kalmir, you can see already, almost as soon as these helicopters hit the ground, there were people ready to get on board. Like, they were down for a couple minutes and they're already going back up.
Yeah. Which, good.
Yeah, so it seems less the flying machines we need to protect. They seem to be going down and up pretty quickly. It's the people that might be the problems there.
Yeah.
If a Reaper decides to come through here, that would be bad.
Yeah. Ultimately, I do not have the combat prowess required in order to fight a Reaper. I was only useful because I was able to infer a weakness. Yes, I doubt that will particularly be a useful thing to do again. Though depends upon others.
And I, admittedly, am somewhat drained.
What would be required to get to these items? Would it be a difficult trek?
I look at my cult. You said it wasn't the entire cult, right? It was just a portion of it?
Yeah, there are still a couple other... You've got about half the cult standing in front of you. The other half are still running around the city doing recon. But they've... Their reports are incredibly similar to what Kalmir's been telling you. Chaos around the city, these ghost creatures around the city, actual ghosts. It is a large city. They've only been scratching the surface of what's going on, and it's harder to delve deeper with all the chaos, but they're doing what they can.
But what about, security, etc. for that building?
security for the building, it is pure standard security guards. They're not like military level guards from what they encountered. Still high-end security, submachine guns, basic like security, vest, armor, whatnot. Kalmir can see into the building.
Yes.
I mean, Cherry saw into the building as well. This isn't like a military base of a building. There's a number of vaults, inside the building on the lower floors and in the basement. But it is still what appears mostly to be office space. There's a number of security guard, a couple dozen around the entire building. But multiple ways of getting in are possible. You could kick down the front door and most likely overpower them, defeat in detail before they can mount a response. Could sneak in using magic if they don't have anything to detect it. And they are still a corporation.
Mm-hmm.
Might just be able to walk up and asks to see their artifacts in exchange for work. I don't know. Sign a contract. Come on as an independent contractor.
It does not seem that it would be a large risk to us if we were to extract these items from them. And I would be able to very quickly tell you what they could do.
Mm-hmm.
Cherry, I think, could get in probably by talking her way in. You, Amennakhti, I don't see you talking your way in.
Mm-hmm. Cherry's manipulation is not very good.
But you look human.
Is there any like tattered fabric anywhere?
There's plenty at this point.
Essentially what Amennakhti's gonna do is he is wearing full body clothing outside of his hands and his head. He's actually going to grab some of this clothing and create essentially like a shawl and wrap it around his mouth as well, so only his eyes are visible. If I keep the hood low, it should be fine.
Okay, so those are what we can do. Sneak in, ask if we can go in, or fight our way in.
I would prefer to keep bloodshed to a minimum. If fighting does break out, I would prefer non-lethal.
Admittedly, I would like to limit the amount of resources that Cherion has when they reconnect with this group, with this arm, I suppose. But they're likely.
There are other ways to limit their resources without killing people.
Precisely. Yeah, I would also rather avoid bloodshed in most cases.
I may have a way to limit their resources, as you say, without bloodshed.
Then let us go.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, Amennakhti's actually going to immediately change course and start, obviously, probably following the cult in the direction.
Yeah. So, trek across the city.
Mm-hmm.
As you are nearing your destination, Kalmir, you do know that you know. You're only a few blocks away from the building that was no longer there. Stahl has just woken up. Stahl, you've just woken up.
Hi.
You are no longer in a cubicle. You are now in a crater.
I can lower my ass off now, right?
Yes.
Thank God. It was breaking everything.
Oh, what happened to that thing he was looking at that he touched? Is that gone?
Yes.
I can't remember. Do I get vitriol beats for that?
Yeah, you'll get vitriol for this because I quite literally don't have enough effects for a strength 11 firestorm post-app other than giving you vitriol. But we'll deal with that afterwards.
And did I take fall damage or am I?
You did, but you've been laying in radiation for a while. You're fine.
I think he wants to know how much for martyr.
No, not for martyr.
Oh.
Just I feel bad after doing all that and just getting away scot-free.
Well, that's the point. What fun is being a nuke if you get hurt by the nuke? But yes, you woken up. Is there anything you'd like to do immediately? Or I presume the group will make a slight detour to pick you up. Otherwise,
that firestorm though.
Radiation's still there.
yeah, but the spell's still up.
That's right. Their spell is still up.
Does the mummy care about radiation? A cult might actually.
Yeah, the cult would.
I would. So Kalmir would mention, Stahl has woken up, though he is in the midst of a rather dangerous area. Those, how did he call it? Radiation?
Bad vibes.
Bad juju. Full of bad juju.
Yeah, I imagine we can ignore that issue for now.
The issue of radiation or Stahl?
Yeah, Stahl.
What did he do?
More the issue of getting to and communicating with Stahl.
Okay.
Yeah. I get it.
Okay.
I misunderstood.
So while they divert off, Amennakhti and the cult are just gonna wait outside while they wait for them to regroup, essentially, before going inside.
The others, they go Stahl. The others kind of appear on the edges of the crater. Welcomingly waving. I don't know. I don't know how they... Cherry probably stands there doing nothing while Kalmir waves a metal stick or something. I'm not sure.
My brain turned off. What happened with that?
We're at the edge of the crater.
Oh, okay.
It's just...
Stahl, are you well?
Yeah. I think so. I guess he just kind of scratches his head. What happened again?
Well, there was an earthquake and a bright flash, and the building was no more.
Oh, I guess it happened again. I just touched this artifact, and then all of a sudden, everything went red.
I heard that you were told not to do that.
Well, we don't really know these people. I thought maybe there was something we could use here, or something I could use.
Understandable.
These artifacts are that dangerous? We were just about to go get an artifact.
I believe this was something different. though admittedly exactly what is, without more information, is unknown.
It was a family photo.
An Anthor, perhaps?
Yeah. I don't really have any. Did I get like any sort of like visions about like, you know, who they were or anything like that?
You got the very general gist before the Pandorans crawled over the corner and your attention was kind of diverted. The creator of the Anthor was a Promethean, obviously, who had attempted to integrate into normal life. They were walking a pilgrimage, much like many others before them. They were doing very well. They had found a family, found a job, etc. But things never last. Whatever happened, it didn't. There's no specification. But there was something happened while that Promethean was at his desk doing his job. Something related to this family. Something that caused him a lot of anger and grief.
Some sort of accident happened around this area, but I couldn't really take a good enough look to tell.
This is historic bullshit knowledge.
The exact mechanisms of Promethean Anthors is probably not really in Cherion databanks, admittedly.
Cherry isn't using Cherion database, she's using weird magic bullshit.
Yeah, but that's like Azothic, man.
Yeah, it's like weird. It's like, I don't know if anyone on Earth knows that, is the thing. And that's the basis for what Cherry is allowed to know. Oh, is that anyone who counts as like a human knows this. Which
the extent
is
is
a pretty low bar. But not.
It would most probably require like a new dawned Promethean that remembered their previous life.
And had a very weird experience as a Promethean.
Yeah.
Though admittedly most Prometheans' experiences are weird, but a specific kind of weird experience.
Yeah, so I'm gonna say probably not.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I was more saying, and would she be aware that it could be a Jovian anchor is the thing? Which, like, probably not.
Probably not. No.
Because I don't know if that's a thing that anyone would be able to know.
Without Azoth, you can't really interact with Anthors.
Yeah. She knows that Anthors exist, but beyond that, it's mostly question mark, question mark, question mark.
Okay, so.
Are you well enough to travel, Stahl?
Yeah, I took a little dip in the radiation here, so I should be fine.
A little dip. This is about as much as that other place we were in.
This is a highly dangerous area. Actually, I have a question. Did Rose follow us here?
Rose
Or
still
she
had
was
the
the
spell on her, so.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
realistically, yes, she would have followed because, well, not really a part of the cult.
If I hadn't cast my protection a while back, we would all be dead.
Indeed.
Joyous
So let's
thinking.
get you out of that hole. We've got things to do, lives to save, things to collect.
Where are we headed?
To the Cherion tribe. They have something. Sorry. They have something important to Amennakhti.
So I guess we just head out.
Also, at this point, while they're taking this time, would I have time to make an effigy?
I have no idea.
It
What is
doesn't.
an
It's one
Like
of. It's one of my.
Strawman?
Kind of, yeah. Just out of whatever material I have lying around.
Probably yes.
Alright, I am going to make one, so I'm going to burn a point of willpower. And it is going to be in the shape of cherry.
What does this do? I don't think.
Absorb Scavenger, I think.
Basically, any damage Cherry were to take once this is presented to her, it will take the full brunt of all the damage, and she will remain unharmed.
Mm. Nice, I suppose.
So
That's good.
It's not a big deal if it's one damage, but if all of a sudden you get caught in the middle of a nuclear explosion, you're completely unharmed.
For a moment.
for a moment, then the radiation kills you. But
Actually, it wouldn't.
I think what would kill you would be the residual heat.
The heat, yeah, that would do it.
That would do it.
yeah, but reconvening effigy given Cherion HQ.
Yes.
Yes, so approaching the building, it is an office complex. It is clearly a very fancy, meant to be a striking building here. Cherion International. What's the plan? Front door? Side door? Wall?
Do I know them? Oh, I know the. Hold on. Thinking about things. I'm going to know. I would know what the. Because I was given the thing. I know what the layout of this building is. So. What's a good place to start from if we're going to go up? If we're going to go to the where they're keeping the magic artifact bullshit. I suppose.
Stealthily? Or
I think that was
Probably.
okay.
Yeah, I was thinking probably something similar to the way my cult got in and out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so easiest way going through shipping and receiving, really. It's not directly attached to, the shipping and receiving bays, but it leads into the back very directly. And from there, a couple flights of stairs down, you're in storage rooms, past the storage rooms, more secure storage rooms, which is where your artifacts will be. That's how you get there if you don't, just by walking. Alternatively, you could go in through the side lobby and go through the floor. Be going through a couple floors, but technically more direct. It's just going to be very loud.
Yeah.
I think
That sounds...
I think the shipping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But shipping bays are not empty, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
There are people doing work, moving boxes. Although work is somewhat paused, there appears to have been work going on. They were in the process of unloading a large truck, but not seem to have been finished.
Mm-hmm.
People
I imagine they stopped when this nonsense started happening.
Yeah, probably. They're mostly now just sitting around, sort of on break, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Again, no tact Amennakhti. Just walking.
You were just walking in? I thought we were...
That doesn't have much stealth to it, does it?
No.
He's walking.
He's walking.
He do be walking, though. So, Amennakhti, you get up to the building. You're in the... walking up the stairs. Individual that was on his phone now kind of puts his phone down and stands up and says, "Sir, are you allowed to be here?"
I'm assuming that draws everybody's attention to Amennakhti.
Yeah, pretty quickly. You know, some people take a little longer to put down what they're doing, probably due to a lack of caring.
And at this point, Amennakhti's not going to make direct eye contact with everybody, but he is going to kind of look around lost and make a lingering look in their direction. And he goes, "I'm afraid I've gotten turned around here. With all the chaos going on in the city, what do you guys even know what's going on out there?"
Look, I ain't getting paid to know what's going on out there, dude. Front door's out over that way. You know, big sign. You read it, Cherion. Front door's there, main desk is there. I'm sure they can help you out. If you got on a meeting or something, whatever. But this is staff only, my friend.
Staff. That's interesting. He reaches out, Amennakhti reaches out his hand. I'm sorry to trouble you. What was your name again?
What's my name again? Shen. But why do you care? You ain't got a meeting with me. I'm just like custodial staff, honestly.
I apologize for being kind and asking, then. Amennakhti puts his hand down.
Ain't no kindness in this city, friend.
There is. You just have to know where to look.
Well, it ain't in the shipping and receiving. I ain't getting paid enough to be kind to you.
It is more...
And at this point, it's time for some fun.
Do stuff!
Perhaps it's more there's no kindness in Cherion, that there is no kindness in this city.
He's just a janitor, man. Don't kill him.
I didn't say I was gonna kill him. Come on.
Doesn't want to kill, just incapacitate, I'm sure.
Yes, and I have something just for that. Where is it? Something I glow as bright as a sun? Let me confirm here. Where is it? Where is my voice of Ra?
Are we all with you, or is it just you?
It was just me. I was giving you guys the go-ahead to try and sneak around while I had everybody's attention.
Yeah. Cherry would be trying to sneak around, yeah. I just didn't realize what was going on quite.
Okay.
Me stealth decks.
It's okay. Cherry, I think, actually has those. You'll have to give me a moment, though.
Okay, I have two options here. I can snuff out all light that I can see.
Hold on. Stealth Dex. That's not terrible. It's not great. It's only 3 dice, which isn't great, but
Statistically, it's a success.
I'll spend a willpower, so that's 3 extra dice.
He'll get 5 successes. Watch. Ha! 2.
So, yes, with the tier 2 of this utterance, I'm going to spend my 2 points. Every source of light I can perceive all of a sudden just disappears.
Okay.
Just
it
every
daytime or
source.
nighttime?
It is nighttime.
Okay.
So it is now very dark in the shipping and receiving bay. People are immediately like, what the?
And that includes their phones. Their phones just are completely black.
Yeah, initially it's like, a couple of people, start speaking up, like blackout, we lose power, when are the generators going to kick back on? And they're like, wait a minute, my phone's dead. It's like EMP or something.
And I guess
roll. Sorry.
Yeah, and I guess at this point
the rest of you are stuck through.
Luckily, as the electricity isn't actually off, that means that we can still. That means that the electronics haven't locked up.
Yeah, no, it's just visible light that's gone. This is gonna be a bad roll for me. So there's a good chance. You know what? I'll willpower it. It's fine. All right. So, okay. I didn't actually need to do it, but it's fine. Using this little bit of a distraction, Amennakhti's gonna walk away, essentially, but quietly walk away.
Walk away where? We're going in?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So you are in the back hallways and rooms of this building. Very quickly find yourself in the storage rooms.
What's the range on your no light thing? Is that just the room, or is it an area?
I think it's every light he could see.
Visible.
Oh, okay.
So there you are now standing in light again. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it only lasts for the scene. And actually, I should have added in my my shot ability for that as well, but that's my bad. Whatever. I still succeeded.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Are the relic is the deeper in storage area is that like locked?
Yeah.
Okay.
Most likely. As you get into the storage room, this area is admittedly very standard, like commercialized storage. There's nothing super fancy going on here. It's just everything this place uses. But even despite that, there are 2 armed guards patrolling the room. They are behind large shelves. They don't appear to have spotted you yet, but you can definitely see glimpses of them and hear them walking around. They're making no attempts to be quiet, as why would they? Chatting amongst themselves.
They're nearby?
About 20 feet.
Okay.
They are actively approaching, however. They will most likely see you when they turn the corner around the shelf.
Okay. There are people coming. Is there another place we can get to? Is there a door?
The other end of this room.
Is there an empty? Can we get to it without being seen?
Without being seen, yes. Without being heard, maybe.
We could always just knock them out.
That's
Yep.
That's enough.
I mean, Amennakhti realistically is with Stahl on this one.
The guards that are coming, how are their souls? And I guess the general, are there any not normal souls, I should say? I should ask.
They all appear to be... Hold on.
Oh no.
I had a...
Well, he's got to see if something wacky's here.
No, I think... I don't know. Hold on. Does Player's Guide to the Contagion talk about souls at all?
I would assume, but I don't know.
What is it called? Do I not have the PDF? Oh no, there it is. I'm blind. Sorry about that.
Probably best if we go ahead and take care of these, Stahl. Let's do this.
I'm gonna take off my brass knuckles because I don't want to kill anyone.
All the souls in this building, appear normal to you.
Okay.
And I do not have to put away my weapon because I have subduing strikes. Means I can inflict non-lethal damage even with my sword.
Fucked up.
So you two are immediately running for these two guards?
Yes.
Yes,
Hopefully
sir.
they don't have like a radio or anything.
They certainly do. So, but if you hit them hard enough, initially, they may not get to use it.
All right then.
Give me your attack rolls. Their defense is not being applied as they are not expecting two people to come rounding around the shelf and punch them in the face.
Okay.
All right. So
I'll let him do his first.
can I lift one of them and then throw it at the other?
Oh, okay. I didn't expect this.
Don't think it's technically part.
You'd have to do a grapple first.
Okay. Maybe it'd be best if we both grappled them. Then that would be would that help us like stop them from radioing in, or do you think we should just go for the attack?
I mean, I have a brawl of 1.
Oh, you're right.
I'm a weaponry character, so...
Alright. Just brute force it is. Okay.
However, there's a lot of stuff that I have to add up here. So give me one moment. I just need to confirm.
Are you doing algebra over there? Calculus?
Carry the 1.
16.
16, a total number, normal number to act like you're carrying.
And then
I'm gonna burn 1 point of pillar. Doesn't matter what pillar. That should add 4 to my strength. Oh yeah, this is the moment where my dice pool can kind of get a little wacky too. Not as bad as his though.
I got Relentless Assault recently, so...
Ooh, that sounds fun.
I will...
Okay, it's an attribute. Okay, so it's +3 to my attribute. Burn a point of willpower. Weaponry. That is a total of 6, 7, 8. That's 8 bonus die. 12. 15. Be a total of 15 die, I think.
That's not bad.
Yeah, I know. It's not as big as his, but you know.
So I have 17 plus 1 guaranteed damage if I land a hit.
Give me the roll.
Okay, let's see.
Okay, so hold on. 3, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Okay. Plus.
Okay.
Mine is a total of, because I add in my weapon damage, that is 6 bashing damage with my sword.
I also do 6 bashing damage with my, because I exchanged 1 die for an attack damage.
Okay.
We
Oh,
both did the same damage, yes!
and if I did more damage than their stamina, then they're knocked down.
Yeah, the one definitely hits the floor immediately. The other is back, backhanded with the back end of a sword. There's, the yells of shock, of, pain, etc. The sounds you'd expect to hear of someone just being beaten.
Are they still aware?
They're still both awake and conscious. However, I'm going to roll to see if they can actually do anything. Okay, they're fine.
Yeah, they both can.
I would like to cast a spell.
Okay.
I want to control sound and make them not be able to make sound. The guards.
Okay. Probably should have done this beforehand.
Yeah.
But
I was like looking for it and I couldn't find it and I just found it.
okay. Give me the roll, and if it succeeds, I'll say you did it beforehand, because logically you probably would have done that beforehand.
Here comes Paradox.
Oh yeah. Okay, so we've got forces. This is reach.
As long as it's not an overreach, it is only going to be a die paradox, because it's only 2 of them.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Do a nice quick 4 successes.
Alright, so do you want to contain or release the potential paradox?
I will contain. So I roll wisdom, yes, if I recall.
I may not even roll.
Oh, that's right, you have to.
Mm-hmm.
You do have to roll.
Yeah.
Yes, so yeah, roll me a wisdom.
Aha.
Yeah, you're okay, you're fine. It's what, like 1 bashing per contained
One
success?
bashing, yeah.
Yeah, okay, you're fine, whatever. But yeah, you haven't really done anything physical here, so the fact that you probably still have drain doesn't matter.
Drain?
Remember when you got bit?
I got bit, yes. How long
It
ago
heals
was that?
on natural recovery, not magical recovery.
Oh, so the spell that I cast before didn't heal everything.
I believe at the time when I read it, it wouldn't have, but I will double check for you that. But you're still injured anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, so... No, it didn't. I know that much.
Okay.
But yeah, so technically you still have the drained condition, but that only really affects physical exertion.
Okay. Well, good. It's too late, but it probably would have affected my stealth roll.
Is that physical exertion? I don't know. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
But yeah, no, the 2 hit the ground. There is no yelling actually this time, because retcon time is weird. Okay.
Sorry. We could say I used time and cast it on their past. I don't know. Do what you want.
Spencer predicted this, so it was like, hey, Kalmir.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to proceed to make sure these guys are memes.
But yes, the one that hits the ground doesn't do much. But the one that stands up does. fire off his SMG directly into the sword-wielding man in front of him.
Okay. I get my defense to firearms.
Okay, what is your defense?
My defense is 6.
What's the penalty to like firing firearms right next to your target again? Was there one?
There was, yes.
It depends on the size of the firearm, yes. But he's not going to hit this anyways. It's already a chance die, so...
More penalties!
It doesn't matter. Yeah, he misses.
So as he fires, just Amennakhti's not there in front of him anymore.
And there's no sound either. Okay. If you want to give me another attack roll, go ahead. The two of you.
Okay.
Do you want to do it or?
I mean, there's 2 of them still.
Oh, right. You're right.
Is it just for 1 dice roll? I have to check if I need to burn another pillar point.
I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. You probably don't.
Alright.
So I will just pound the guy on the ground, I guess. Same dice pool as last time.
Yep, he is kind of on the floor, so he can't really apply his defense, and I think you get a bonus for attacking a prone target anyways.
I think so. 1 or 2.
I think it's like a +2.
18 then. Hopefully this doesn't kill him. He should be fine. Right?
Well, you did what? That was 6?
That's another 5 bashing damage.
Oh yeah, that's another 6 damage.
Yep, another 5 bashing.
They're both quite battered, but still up.
Wow.
You can see the blood on the floor. They're awake. How much longer? Who knows?
Choke him out.
Well, they're both on the ground, right? At this point.
At this point, yeah.
At this point, Amennakhti's not going to attack. He's just going to grab both of their SMGs and in his one with his free hand, because I'm assuming they have like a sling or something. Or do they?
Yeah.
He's
It's on
holding.
a sling.
Yeah. So he's going to take his other hand and basically just crush the radio. And kind of throw the SMGs over his shoulder afterwards.
Okay.
I'm just gonna...
And they're knocked out?
No.
No, that was just to see if they could do anything.
Oh, okay.
That is
Never mind.
That's definitely a no.
Yeah, no. But yeah, at this point, they will, over the next couple seconds, they do go unconscious.
All right.
In deafening silence.
I'm an
Well, I can turn that off. Yeah.
is just gonna
Can
start
I-
walking.
Pat them down for any IDs or anything, just to see if there's anything that can grant us
They do
clearance.
have IDs, yeah. So you take their IDs.
Cherry,
Here, take this,
Mhm.
and I just toss it to
Yeah.
someone.
you expressed concern about my particular abilities. Would you express that same concern with these?
Yes. Cherry, these might be Cherion people, but they're also just people who are doing their jobs.
But to be
No.
fair, You did want to kill one of them before.
Not one of these guys.
Or then kill a person that personally wronged her, not the random grunts assigned to security duty of guarding the toilet paper.
It's like these people didn't do anything.
Okay. That's fine. I will let them be then.
Please do not.
This is why I asked.
Cherry worries.
Moving onwards. We come to locked doors. Kalmir can very quickly tell you that there are a lot of strange things on the other side of these doors. Each one containing a single container, a single item. I have to ask, how far can a mummy detect Sekhem objects, like relics and vessels and stuff? Is it, I believe it's dependent upon the object, correct?
Generally.
I'm asking this like I couldn't just look it up myself.
Yeah, because I'm gonna have to look it up too, honestly.
Okay, well, you're close enough, definitely, that you can feel one of these objects. It's powerful. Incredibly powerful. And you can figure out exactly what door it's behind.
Stahl, remove the door.
I've got it, I guess.
Is it?
It is locked, yes.
Okay.
And no, the key cards do not open it.
Well,
give me a strength athletics, because this is
question.
no ordinary door.
Can I lift and throw
wait.
this
We
door?
don't need to worry about strength athletics. We don't need to worry about that.
Yes,
Cherry.
Yes, we do. Do we? What do you
Go ahead.
Cherry can use intelligence computer.
Hack it.
Okay, if you want, I guess, or Stahl can punch.
I'm fine with it. You go ahead.
It's better to do the one that won't make everybody notice immediately.
Are you sure?
Why would it not be?
I mean, probably they have. I'm gonna use a cyberpunk term. They probably have demons in the computer system, basically programs that'll tell them if you've messed with anything. They have security systems, guaranteed.
Yeah.
But, you know, security systems mean nothing against rote.
Yeah, but I feel like that might be. I feel like that might be less obvious than.
You got a better chance of avoiding the security if you hack it open than punching it open. I will be completely honest with you. But if you punch it hard enough, I was gonna say you ignore it. But
this is intelligence plus computer, which, you know, I have 11 dice with a route.
Yep. Go ahead. I think you'll probably get more successes than I would have.
give me the roll.
Yeah, 7. Sure. I won't use a willpower. I won't willpower this. There.
The door is open. I assume Amennakhti's immediately going in.
Unless somebody physically stops him.
Yeah, who's gonna do that?
So, Amennakhti, within this room is a single container. Contains a scroll. it is overwhelming with pure Sekhem. It is very obviously a relic of very ancient times.
Okay, so at this point, he's gonna examine it to try and figure out what it does before he even touches it.
Give me a... Don't mummies just automatically know what they do, or is that... Am I thinking of that wrong?
That's for tracking. Not that right. Let's see. Relics. Exact, reliable way. Very specific forms. Second difference.
Tell me what, just give me an intelligence occult +3.
Alright, intelligence plus occult. +3. Not a horrible roll for me, not great, but...
It was enough.
Yeah.
It was actually barely enough.
Yeah.
It was that last one.
So, examining this object, just reading a couple of the words at the very top of this scroll that is not, well, rolled up. It is, to put it very bluntly, a right to summon avatars.
Oh.
Oh.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
You can presume that if the scroll is read in its entirety by someone who can actually read it, it will be invoked.
Amennakhti picks this up very gently, rolling it very carefully, and stores it on his person very, very carefully. Is the other item in this warehouse as well, or was it just this particular one?
The other one is here, it's just in a different room. But we will find that other item next time. We are a little over, but I wanted to
get to a certain point.
Wanted to finish the point here.